Okay, another thing someone asked, I forgot who, but like whoever you are, it's like he was like, you're not gonna mention the guy hitting the Old Bay in the video.
Hey,
What? Why do you do that? Why do you do shots of Old Bay?
well, because if I was drinking shots of rum, for instance, it would be unhealthy for me.
Oh,
So shots of this, I figure offsets it because Guru Rick, my dietitian, told me that salt was good for you and I should eat salt.
oh, all right. So
Okay,
Old
so
Bay has salt. I mean, it does have salt
yeah,
in it.
there's
You know
salt in
that.
it, and I like spicy stuff. I grew up at summertime. There would always be a couple family get-togethers where you eat steamed crabs,
Oh yeah, Old
and it was
Bay.
usually this stuff on the steamed crabs.
Yeah,
And
it tasted great
I
actually.
was too lazy to pick crabs, so I like the spices. I would just take my finger and eat like
Oh, that must have
the
made.
spice and crab blood that was congealed on the outside of the shell.
Oh, that made you
And,
very
and it
popular.
was also the one time that children in our family were allowed to drink beer. We could each have 4 ounces of beer with the crab
Oh, that's
feast.
awesome.
And it was usually always Natty Bow.
Yeah, Natty
You know,
Bo. Yeah, see, America was more progressive than you Europeans think. If you Europeans watching this.
well,
Oh,
I mean, it was my brother who lives in Ohio. When he gets back to Maryland once a year, he'll put down a few $100s just to get a bag of crabs,
yeah,
so
because
that
that's
we
how
can
much.
kind of relive it.
That's how much they do. A crab cake, do the proper crab cake to all y'all out there in Maryland. A single proper crab cake costs $20, maybe even more now.
And I did do research on crab cakes in restaurants, and the one time when Rich Pedersen was coaching me, I thought I was going to actually get a pro fight, and he was really into it. He was holding this for me, and it was never going to happen. But he'd do stuff like drop me off 4 miles from the strip club, and then make me run to the strip club, and he'd have my beer there for me. That was
Yeah.
like my road work.
God.
So he liked fishing, so he would take me out to, I think it was Cox's Point in Essex, and he'd just tell me to run around like this little island like 20 times. Well, he went over, he would talk to these guys about fishing, and there were two very unkept Caucasian individuals, two Yetis down there
Oh,
fishing,
devils.
and I said, look, I got to ask you guys, different people, I don't fish. I don't even eat fish that much. Different people told me, like, what do you do with carp? I see that there's a lot of carp. I know what a carp looks like.
Yeah.
It's like giant goldfish. You guys pull these things up, you guys don't eat them, do you? And then, no, we would never eat that stuff. And then the bearded guy, I said, wait a minute, before you even point at the black dude down there, okay, let me go get him.
Oh, come on.
There's an old black dude.
Leave that brother alone.
There was an old black dude.
Oh.
Okay, and I went and I got him, and I had a conclave. I had a redneck, a hillbilly, and a brother, and these are all older dudes, 10 to 30 years older than me.
Old heads.
This was like 30 years ago. I was like, look, who eats these things? I see you guys catching them. I always see you throwing them back, and people had pointed fingers, and I said, before you point your finger at the Filipino guy that's not here,
Oh, come on.
okay, does anybody have an idea? And they all left their normal shtick as like, oh, the rednecks eat them, the hillbillies eat them, the black guys eat them. No, they all kind of put their 2 cents together, and they compared notes as to who they sold these fish to and everything. And they came to the conclusion that these fish that they were selling to the Filipino guys and the Chinese guys were ultimately being bought up by the Greek guys that ran the seafood restaurants up and down East Baltimore County. And Rich Pedersen, who his favorite food was crab imperial, was about ready to go puke in Back River when we got to this point. So the one hillbilly is like, yeah, the one Chinese guy told me that, like he'd give me more for him if I took like the certain like part of the skin off of it because it would be better for processing. So they're passing off carp, have been for like 60, 70 years in the Baltimore area. They're using it for filler for crab
Oh,
cake,
you sons of
just
bitches.
like just like you would
Oh,
use,
hell no.
they use like the artificial crab meat that you get in the supermarket. That's pollock,
Right.
which is a white fish
Yeah,
of the
white
Arctic
fish.
Circle, I think. Well, yeah. So anyways, if you put Old Bay on it, you won't know the
Yeah,
difference.
Old Bay
Okay,
makes everything taste
so I
better.
figure if it can make the carp taste like crab, then it can make the palm of my hand taste like
Well,
something worthwhile.
now
Right?
my watches are gonna, I have to jump in. My watches are gonna probably look at
Right.
me
So
suspiciously.
that's it.
I've actually had carp, and it was called carp to me. Yes, yes. I was, I was
You
eating
should have
with,
been there,
I was eating with some.
but I think you were probably 16 at the time.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh man, I was. Oh man, 16. I can't. Yeah, I've had carp. Okay, I was eating. I was having dinner with some Black Sea Russians. Okay, you know Black Sea Russians. You know what they are, right? They're Black Sea Russians. We were
Crimeans.
Crimean. Yeah, exactly. Right,
Okay.
and they were eating carp. Right, carp, of course, is the or goldfish. It's where goldfish have been bred from by the Chinese thousands of years ago. But we had carp along with other kind of Russian food and vodka and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, man, carp was not bad. It was not bad at all. It was actually pretty tasty fish. I like fish. Um, uh, if you put it in crab cakes, we're gonna have a problem. But in terms of carp itself, the prehistoric goldfish, not bad at all. Just my little 2 cents. So anyway, but that's why he does the Old Bay. So
Okay.
Rick said the salt. Oh, real quick, you know what?
It's nostalgic.
Nostalgic, right? So it's a way to get salt and still be like Merlin or. But I will say one thing too, just real quick. Salt is bad for you. Isn't salt bad for you? And they tell us that for friggin' decades.
Well, I mean, I just listen to Rick, and
Right.
Rick said salt's good for you, so I eat as much of it as I can.
Yeah, so there you go. So
Okay. So,
they lied to us about so many damn things. They lied to you about salt. They lied to you about fat. They lied to you about a lot of things, about wheat and fiber and stuff like that. So that's why my man does the shot of Old Bay. So, and that's that.